Hi, and welcome to the Rhetoric of Aristotle. Here's where we're going. Rhetoric, making persuasion probable. Rhetorical proof. Logos, ethos, and pathos. The five canons of rhetoric. Ethical reflection. Aristotle's golden mean. Critique. Standing the test of time. Rhetoric, making persuasion probable. Rhetoric is discovering all possible means of persuasion. There's a threefold classification of speech situations that shows he had affairs of state in mind. Courtroom, in other words, forensic speaking about the past. Ceremonial, epidictic speaking about the present. And political, deliberative speaking about the future. Aristotle classified rhetoric as a counterpart or offshoot of dialectic. Dialectic is a one-on-one discussion. Rhetoric is one person addressing many. Discovering ways to make truth seem more probable to an audience that is not completely convinced. Rhetorical proof. Logos, ethos, and pathos. The available means of persuasion based on three kinds of proof. Logical, which is logos, ethical, which is ethos, and emotional, which is pathos. An artistic proof is external evidence that the speaker does not create. Artistic proof is internal proof that contains logical, ethical, or emotional appeals. So logos, ethos, and pathos are forms of artistic proof. Logical proof, lines of argument that make sense. Logos, logical proof which comes from the line of argument in a speech. An enthymeme is an incomplete version or formal deductive syllogism that is created by leaving out a premise already accepted by the audience or by leaving an obvious conclusion unstated. An enthymeme uses deductive logic to move from a global principle to a specific truth. Arguing by example uses inductive reasoning, drawing a final conclusion from specific cases. Ethical proof, perceived source credibility, perceived intelligence, virtuous character, and goodwill. Ethos is ethical proof, which comes from the speaker's intelligence, character, and goodwill toward the audience, as these personal characteristics are revealed through the message. Emotional proof, striking a responsive chord. Pathos is emotional proof, which comes from the feelings the speech draws from those who hear it. It's offered not to take advantage of the audience's destructive emotions, but as a corrective measure. Catalog series of opposite feelings. Anger versus mildness. Love or friendship versus hatred. Fear versus confidence. Indignation versus pity. Admiration versus envy. The five canons of rhetoric. These are the principal divisions of art of persuasion established by the ancient rhetoricians. Invention is the speaker's hunt for arguments that will be effective in a particular speech. Arrangement suggests that speakers should avoid complicated schemes of organization. In style, Aristotle focuses on metaphor to help audiences visualize. Memory is the modern equivalent of rehearsal. With delivery, audiences reject delivery that seems planned or staged. Is it ethical to alter a message to make it more acceptable for particular audiences? Aristotle spoke of ethics in terms of character rather than conduct. The golden mean is the virtue of moderation. The virtuous person develops habits that avoid extremes. Critique, standing the test of time. Aristotle often seems less clear than he urged the students to be. Scholars are puzzled by the failure to define the exact meaning of enthymeme. Consider again, student notes are his text. Confusing system of classifying metaphor according to type, and blurred distinctions between deliberative, political, and epidictic, ceremonial speaking. Some present-day critics are bothered by rhetoric's view of the audience as passive. Other critics wish Aristotle had considered a fourth component of rhetoric, the situation. So here's where we've been, what we've discussed. Rhetoric, making persuasion probable. Rhetorical proof, logos, ethos, and pathos. The 5 canons of rhetoric. Ethical reflection, Aristotle's golden mean. And the critique, standing the test of time.